What's up guys and welcome to today's video. I'm gonna teach you how to create and use personal budgets, starting with the three main reasons why you fail while creating one. The first one is that you don't know how to do it properly, but this is why this video will come in handy today, so don't worry about this point. The second one is that you haven't tracked down your expenses, and this is crucial because it helps you create a budget closer to your actual situation. But this is also a huge topic, so I address it on another video. And the third one is that you're not being honest with this process and therefore not including all your spendings here because maybe you're ashamed of them and don't want anyone to know about them and don't want them to appear in that list. But you must remember that this is for your future, perhaps the future of your family. And besides, there's no need to tell anyone about this. You could keep it privately, but you must include all your expenses. This is highly important. Otherwise, this wouldn't be a correct exercise. Now, what's a budget? A budget is simply an estimate of how much money you'll earn and spend over a period of time. That's it. Here you put all your incomes, your outcomes, and the difference between them. To create one, you could use a program of your laptop or an app of your smartphone or even just a piece of paper and a calculator. But actually the last one I don't recommend because it's quite tedious and difficult, so stay away from it. Because I want you to understand the logic of a budget, I'm using an Excel template that I'm also including in the description of this video, so you can download it later on. But I have another video in which I review some of the best programs and apps out there to create budgets quite easily. And lastly, since most of us are paid on a monthly basis, it's more logical to work with monthly budgets as well. Besides, the majority of our expenses are also calculated on a 30 days period of time, so it kind of makes more sense to use monthly budgets. Now, with all that being said, let's learn how to create one. A budget is divided into two sections, your incomes and your outcomes. First, start listing all your income sources. Remember that each income has its own deduction, so you must include them as well. First, add your incomes and then take its deduction away. This will leave you with your net income. You must do this with each of all your income sources, and these may include wages or salary, which is the main income source of the average person around the world, interest that comes from your savings account. If you have something in here, congratulations, because you're way above the average, my friend. The third one is dividends. This is when you own a company or part of it, and it pays you a percentage of its profits. Next, we have capital gains. This is when you sell a capital asset such as bonds, real estates, and you get some profits in the process. And the last one is business incomes, which are the profits from your own business. Okay, once you have listed all your income sources, you must summarize them, and this will be your total income. The next step is to list all your expenses. At this point, even if you haven't used a personal budget previously, you could already reckon and calculate them by your own experience. As your incomes, put them all together in groups. The list of expenses could include several of the following groups. Housing, that includes mortgage, rent, electricity, gas, water, mobile, internet, waste removal, Netflix, etc., etc. Transportation, which comes down to payment of your car, bus, train or taxi fare, insurance, licensing, etc. Personal care, which includes clothing, grooming, and personal cleanliness. Insurance, this is a health insurance. If you don't have a health insurance, go and get one as soon as possible, because this is really substantial, this is highly important for your life. Next we have entertainment, that is to say movies, hang out, eating out. This must include all your takeaways. Next we have loans. This includes personal loans, credit card loans, bank loans, etc. The next section is indulgence. Okay, when it comes to budgeting, many people fail because they make it pretty tight and don't leave space to some gratification. But let's face it, we're constantly planning some new vacations, buying a new phone, a new watch, or even new curtains for our house, so we'd better be real and consider all these expenses in our budget. Just think on all the unnecessary but attractive things you bought last month and include their total cost in here. And that's it. The next group is unforeseen expenses, and this is a critical element and people tend to understate it quite often, but you must take it into great consideration and add a decent amount of money here. The last section is savings, and this is another essential component. The more you add in here, the best. If you're not accustomed to saving frequently, just write down a small amount of money, let's say 5% of your total income, but you should aim to increase this over time because this is a substantial, vital account and eventually it will take care of you. This may sound like a cliche, but I'm just being honest with you, and this is actually something that will happen. Then, after you have listed all your expenses and all your income sources, you must take away your expenses from your incomes, and this will leave you with a difference between them. And that's it. Now you have learned how to create and use personal budgets. I recommend aiming to having a zero-based money budget. I mean, one where your expenses meet your income sources. This is important because this way you will organize your money flow so that you'll know where each penny goes. If there's some money left, you'll be tempted to waste it in things you don't actually need. Therefore, if you ended up with some extra money, simply add it all to your savings group. Chances are you'll fail while creating this budget. Bear in mind that following huge mistakes. It's too tight, you didn't leave space for unforeseen expenses or for emergencies, and you don't have an indulgence section, or there are many expenses that you are not including currently. So please, don't use your remaining cash yet. The second step, tracking your expenses, is even harder, and you must do it before counting on your spare money. Now, you may be wondering, do I really need to go through all this? Well, the answer is simple. Yes, you do. Budgeting, which is the process of estimating your earnings and incomes, is really important mainly because of three reasons. The first and most important one is that it provides you with financial security. And what do I mean by this? Imagine this situation. Once you have a clear vision of how your own cash flow behaves, you'll be able to plan ahead and be prepared for emergencies. Besides, given that this process will encourage you to save money frequently, you will always have money in your bank account, and that's one of the most awesome things that could have happened to someone. The second factor in here is that people nowadays tend to spend money they don't have. With a budget, you'll know how much money you're able to spend to set yourself proper limits and act accordingly. And the last reason is that this is the first step towards your financial freedom. You can now start setting goals and making plans to reach them out because you will find them more realistic and reachable. Just try it and you'll see. Now, budgeting may be difficult, tedious, boring, and hard, mostly in the beginning. For me, it was hard as well, but eventually it became easier, so just give it a shot. Trust me, I'm an expert. I have been doing this for more than 10 long days now. Well, we have come to the end of this video. Remember that this is only the first step to healthy finances. If it was any helpful for you, you could reward me by giving me a like, so that I can keep bringing you great content. See, I don't sell anything because I think that people must be helped, and I believe that information should be free because we have to grow as a civilization. So if you want to help me help others, just give me a like and I'll be grateful. See, my channel is about business, finances, being unstoppable, and life improvement. If you are into any of those topics, guess what? You're welcome to subscribe. If you have any questions, comment them down below and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. So my friend, thank you for watching. This is Adam and see you next time. Bye.